gang, Mark here, back with another edition of Coming Soon. These are discs that will be coming soon to your doorstep or your favorite retailer or e-tailer. Though frankly, the kind of things that I talk about here, not a lot of places carry on the shelves. If you're lucky, you might live somewhere near like the Archive in Bridgeport, Connecticut, or I think they have one in Colorado now, or some cool stores that will stock more boutique cult video labels. But otherwise, you're talking about online, and there are many places to find those. I've been away for a couple weeks, not as a guest of the state, not at the Crossbar Hotel. I went to Italy on vacation, which was amazing. And if you follow the Cinemaniacs or me on the various social media outlets, there are photos and information there. But what you want to hear about is upcoming discs that maybe you haven't had a chance to take a look at yet. And I have that many to talk about today. So I haven't even opened these things up yet. So these are fresh from a pile of mail that's been aging like a fine cheese and smell similarly, actually, on my doorstep. So it's possible some of this stuff might be out. I'm looking at it for the first time with you. Let's find out what we got for those who enjoy the sound of packages being torn asunder. So first of all, we have a stack of things that aren't visually interesting. So if you've watched any of these before, I deal with MVD primarily to get a lot of my my review discs for things. And from Arrow Home Video, Arrow, who I love, as I say, Arrow is my criterion. From Arrow, the packaging is not thrilling that I get. They look like this. They're just check discs, which is fine because the contents on the disc itself is the exact same as the retail copy. I just don't get the fancy packaging. So when it's a title I really like, I do go and buy it again for myself. So what we have here, and I can give you some release dates, as always, if you go to the description on YouTube that's under this video, I have all of the release dates and pertinent information, video labels, and Amazon buying links if you want to order or pre-order these things and get them at as a usually pretty sweet discount. Not always, but most of the time Amazon always tries to give it a little bang for your buck. So what we have here, we have the, I've actually never seen this movie, Tremors 2 on, I hold it up like there's anything to see. Tremors 2 on Blu-ray and 4K UHD. What they do with these a lot of the times, I believe this is the case, is that one of these is a Blu-ray, one of these is a 4K. So if you buy the package, you get one of each. I believe that's how they do it. And that way, if you don't have a 4K yet, you watch your Blu-ray, and then eventually if you get a 4K TV and player, hey, what do you know? 4K is there waiting for you. I have that, and I have, this is one I've very much been looking forward to. Barbarella. Again, I hold it up as if there's anything to see. The packaging on this disc, pretend like you can see what I'm talking about. The packaging on this disc is phenomenal. I'm definitely going to buy this for myself because I love Barbarella, and they have a couple of different covers. One's a new cover with a photo of Jane Fonda from Barbarella. The other, I think, is the original artwork. The artwork is really nice. The package overall for this Barbarella set, I know I've seen the advance sheets, so it's very nice. The Barbarella limited edition includes US TV and radio spots, image gallery, trailer, Dino and Barbarella video essay by Eugenio Ercolani and producer Dino De Laurentiis, and Angel's body double, actor Fabio Testi. Wow, discusses his early career as a stuntman and body double for John Philip Law and Barbarella. Dressed to Kill, a 30-minute interview with film fashion scholar Elizabeth Castaldo Luanen. Sorry, this kind of typos here. And Jacques Fontaine. His world-changing designs. Framing for Claude, an interview with camera operator Roberto Girametti. Tognazzi, I'm so sorry, I was just in Italy and I can't pronounce any of these names. Tognazzi, actor-director Ricky Tognazzi discusses the life and work of his father and Barbarella star Ugo Tognazzi. Love, a 2-hour in-depth discussion between film and cultural historians Tim Lucas and Stephen Bissett on the impact and legacy of Barbarella. Paul Joyce's behind-the-scenes featurette, Barbarella Forever. Another Girl, Another Planet, appreciation of Barbarella by film critic Glenn Kenny. Isolated score. This is cool. Disc 2, extras, alternative opening and closing credits. Audio commentary by Tim Lucas. Disc 1, featurette, high definition. Sometimes they list the features and it's like, well, that's just what it is. It's like the early DVDs where they would say special features, menus, special features. They have chapters. Original lossless English mono plus remixed Dolby Atmos sound and lossless French mono featuring the voice of Jane Fonda. Ooh, that's cool. She did her own dubbing in that. She was married to the director at the time. Optional English subtitles for deaf and hard of hearing. Versatile sleeve, which I don't have here, featuring original and newly commissioned artwork by Tula Lotte. Double-sided fold-out poster featuring original and newly commissioned artwork by Tula Lotte. Illustrated collector booklet. I'm definitely buying a retail copy of this. Featuring new writing on the film by Anne Bilson, Paul Gravelt, Veronique Bergan, and Elizabeth Castaldo London. And again, I mispronounce her name because this printing here actually has like at and weird typo characters in here. And select archival materials, 6 double-sided collector postcards, brand new 4K restoration of the original negative by Arrow Films. Yes, so definitely that's one to pick up. Release date for that is the 28th of November. So that's this coming Tuesday as I record this. Tremors 2 extras. We have limited edition packaging featuring original and newly commissioned artwork by Matt Frank. Double-sided fold-out poster with the same by Matt Frank. Small fold-out poster featuring new Shrieker X-Ray by Matt Frank. Image Gallery illustrated perfect bound booklet featuring new writing by Jonathan Melville on the Tremors 2 scripts that never got made, and Dave Wayne and Maddie Budowitz on the history of Universal's DTV sequel division, the making of Tremors 2 on-set featurette with the cast and crew, outtakes, trailers for Tremors 2 and for Tremors and Tremors 2 AFTERSHOCKS, brand new feature commentary by Jonathan Melville, author of Seeking Perfection, the unofficial guide to Tremors, Graboid Go Boom, a newly filmed interview with special effects designer Peter Chesney, critical need-to-know information, a newly filmed interview with CG supervisor Phil Tippett, HD presentation, lossless 2.0 and 4.0 surround audio optional, English subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing, brand new feature commentary by director, co-writer S.S. Wilson and co-producer Nancy Roberts, and a new 4K restoration from the original elements by Arrow Films, approved by the director. That's all very, very cool. Yeah, I love Tremors. I actually got to see Tremors very recently on the big screen as part of Exhumed Films 24-hour horror-thon, and it's a movie I've seen a million times. It's a movie that really, really works, and Arrow has out, pardon me while I do this, Arrow, let me do one more time with the face. Arrow has a really nice set, Blu-ray and or 4K of the original Tremors, and it's cool that they're following it up with AFTERSHOCKS. I know there's been like 7 or 8 sequels to Tremors that I've never seen, so interested in seeing how these all played out. So, okay, here's another package. A little bit more to see in this one. So we have The Wrong Door. What is The Wrong Door? Well, Visual Vengeance presents The Wrong Door. Knock, knock, Ted. You're dead. Ted Farrell has lived for mysteries and dramas his whole life. While attending college, he proves to be a sound designer with a knack for audio thrillers. But his life is about to imitate his art. Fate places him at the doorstep of a beautiful young woman who will soon end up murdered, or as Inspector Clouseau would say, murdered, and found in his car with no explanation. Oops. His night and sanity quickly spiral out of control as he races to avoid becoming the next villain with a killer on the loose. A very rare regional horror thriller from the late 80s video store era, The Wrong Door enjoys its first time ever on disc with a brand new director-approved 2K transfer from the original Super 8mm film elements. So, Visual Vengeance, I was just literally last night. The last thing I saw before I fell asleep last night was a Visual Vengeance Blu-ray that I'm soon to be belatedly reviewing, and that's their thing, seemingly. They're a division of Wild Eye Releasing, and they put out shot-on-video regional low-budget horror from the 80s, 90s. So special features, which look to be voluminous. We have brand new director supervised 2K transfer from the original Super 8mm film elements, commentary with directors Bill Weiss and Sean Corby, commentary with director James Gretsch and producer John Schoenbaum, new documentary, Men Make Movie, If Not Millions. That's more often than not the case. Director James Gretsch interview, director Sean Corby interview, director Bill Weiss interview, actor Matt Felmley interviews, distributing The Wrong Door, Chris Gore interview, second feature, alternate director's cut of The Wrong Door from 2019, Super 8 short, Raiders of the Lost Bark, 1983, that sounds fun, Super 8 short, The Pizza Man, 1988, TV episode, The Gail Whitman Show, original unedited Mother Video VHS intros, Image Gallery, original storyboards gallery, original film threat, print review, new hiring, movie trailer, The Wrong Door 2023 trailer, Visual Vengeance trailers, two-sided insert, collectible folded mini poster, reversible sleeve featuring original VHS art, stick your own VHS sticker set, optional English subtitles. This film is from 1990, 73 minutes in Inglés, stereo, full screen 133 because it's from the area when 133 was common for home video, and it is region A, B, and C, and as you know, I like to say that means if you're anywhere in the world, from Bolivia to Botswana, from Baltimore to Beirut, you can just pop this in your player and it'll work. So, I usually do this beforehand so you don't watch me taking this thing apart. So we have a slip case, which slips right off to reveal alternate artwork, which is pretty cool. I don't know if that's going to focus on that or not. And slightly different back cover to match the color scheme of the front. And then we get, yes, the aforementioned video store stickers, which are very neat. We get a visual vengeance, a little door hanger here. It's a door hanger or it's finger fun. And then we have the disc, little alternate poster, little mini poster. Let me do this here. We've got the alternate artwork and poster du mine of that alternate artwork there. So that's really cool. Visual Vengeance likes to do what I call the tuck-ins, as they would call them, I guess, in the old LP days, where there's they just put a lot of cool stuff in with their discs, and I appreciate that. So moving along to another disco, we get also from Visual Vengeance, we get Scream Queen, a Brad Sykes film. I know not of any of this, so we're discovering these together. This chainsaw's made for cutting. Considered a lost Linna Quigley movie. Ooh, I know Linna Quigley. She's super nice. She was she was a guest of ours. She's the only person we've ever had as a celebrity guest 2 weekends in a row at 2 different events at the Mahoning Drive-In Theater in Lehigh, Pennsylvania, where I work. And super nice person. She was on our podcast and super just willing to, she really liked the place and is super friendly and willing to help out. So, considered a lost Linna Quigley movie, Scream Queen now enjoys its first ever release on home video. Wow. Horror star Militia Toombs, Linna Quigley, mysteriously dies after leaving the set of her latest, now unfinished, low-budget shot-on-video shocker. Soon, a masked killer is chopping and hacking their way through the casting crew as punishment for Toombs' death. This super obscure film was shot in 1998 by indie horror stalwart Brad Sykes and eventually finished by producers in 2002. Scream Queen is a solid 1990s shot-on-video slasher that borrows from the Italian giallo subgenre, which I love, and also takes swift jabs at the U.S. independent horror movie scene at that time. Special features, new director-approved 480p SD master from original tape elements, commentary with writer-director Brad Sykes, Once Upon a Time in Horrorwood, a new behind-the-scenes documentary bonus, second feature original producer's cut of Scream Queen, new Linna Quigley interview, editor Mark Polonia interview, behind-the-scenes image gallery, Linna Quigley image gallery, original script selects, original trailer, Visual Vengeance trailer, 6-page liner notes by Tony Strauss of Wings Chop Magazine, or Strauss, collectible Linna Quigley folded mini poster, reversible sleeve featuring original home video art, optional English subtitles. This is from 1998/2002, USA color, 78 minutes. I don't mind 78 minutes. In a world of films that are 2.5 hours, or 2 hours, or 3 hours, or 3.5 hours, 78 minutes is like an after 8 mint. The stereo full screen 133, because again, that's was the typical format of home video in people's TVs in those days. And once again, unrated region A, B, and C, meaning from Terre Haute to Tahiti, from New York to New Guinea. Pop it in your player, and it'll work. No worries about region locking or anything like that. Available to delight and tantalize, to amuse and bemuse. From coast to coast, continent to continent, it's an all region. And yeah, usually when I'm not taking these straight out of the mailer, you don't have to watch and wait for me. I'm very careful with my stuff, so I like to keep the wrapper on for the most part. All right, so the slip case slips to reveal alternate artwork, also very cool, and slightly different color scheme on the back. And then we have, we've got our tuck-ins. What do we have here? We have, this is really cool. A 4-star video, 99-cent rentals every Wednesday, large selection of adult videos, membership card. That's really neat. Video store card. Some more video store type stickers. I hold them up not knowing if that'll focus whatsoever. That's what your insides look like. You get the Scream Queen booklet, which looks very nice. Folds out to be plenty of small text. You get your Linna Quigley poster, and goes a little something like that. And you have your alternate, so it's basically 3rd different cover essentially for this. So that looks really neat. And she's really cool. She's really fun. Cool sounding premise. So I look forward to watching that. So as again, I always say, if you are interested in more information or the release dates, just look at the description under here and I'll have all that. From our good friends at Radiance Films. As I always say, Radiance Films is a company that was started by someone who used to work for Arrow Home Video and branched out into doing their own releases. Very Criterion-like in that the artwork is very sparse. The supplements are not like insanely copious, but they're very, very good. And they just dig into movies that are really high quality films from overseas meaning not American films for the most part, that are worthy of study and appreciation. And I don't always love the experience of watching everything they put out. This always sounds weird. I don't love everything they put out, but I love that they're doing it. And I've seen some things they've released that I've really liked. So we have Les Combats dans les lits. I'm probably totally pronouncing all of that wrong. That's, maybe there's a translation as to what that means. I don't speak French, sorry. Clement Jean-Louis Trintgnant from Ile-sur-Passo lives a secret life as a right-wing terrorist. Double-crossed following an assassination attempt, he flees to the countryside with his wife, Anne Romy Schneider, who you probably know. A noirish drama beautifully shot by DOP Pierre Lhomme from Army of Shadows. Le Combat dans les Combines, Combines, that's how they would say it. Combines the thriller with a romantic backdrop, probing bourgeois values and the relationship between sex and violence. The film anticipates the conformist and bears the influence of Chabrol. Features is it a Cavalier interview or is it a Cavalier interview? See, this is where I get thrown. Interview and commentary featurette, short film Un American, and archival interview with Jean-Louis Trintgnant, appreciation by critic Philippe Roger, or is it Philip Roger? Booklet with new writing by Manny Sharp and Ben Sachs in reversible sleeve, limited to 3,000 copies. So it is a film by Alain Cavalier, or Cavalier, 1962, 104 minutes, black and white, French language, 1:6:6 aspect ratio, mono. It's a 2K restoration, original mono audio, and I've already told you what everything else is. So it comes with this little obi strip, as I call them, Japanese little strip that's inside the cover. You can take that off if you don't like it, or if you want to see the whole cover unencumbered. I tend to leave them in there because I tend to, leave everything as much as is as possible. But if you don't want Jean-Louis Trintgnant to have a nasalectomy there, you can take that off. So that's the front, that's the back. I've already shown you. Crack it open, and they put them in really nice heavy covers too. So inside looks like that, which isn't a lot to look at, but when you take the disc out, ooh, cool. It's like original poster art. So that's a really nice alternate cover. And as always with Radiance, if you can tell, the booklets are like hefty and they're really substantial. Like sometimes I think, you're giving me a Blu-ray that has all these extras and things on it. What's the need of a booklet? Can't that all be conveyed visually or orally in the package? And sometimes the booklets just repeat some of that. Sometimes they're not really much more than a chapter index. And sometimes like Radiance, they're like serious supplemental information. So that is coming soon from Radiance. Only 2 more of these, folks. So then for those who like the unboxing kind of videos and all that, and my contorted faces of trying to rip it open but not trash what's inside, they put a little strip on there that you can pull open to open these easily. They don't really open that easily. Doesn't the struggle make it more worthwhile? Another fistful of stuff. We have, ooh. So I really like, and I literally have off to my side that what I'm doing after this is doing another Film Masters review of a Blu-ray. I really like what Film Masters is doing. They're taking public domain movies that have been released a million times by every company who wants to release things that they can get their hands on, usually with not very good quality titles, and they're releasing them in the best versions we've ever seen with they're treating them like real movies, which people really kind of didn't for the longest time. A lot of times these movies, like what are on this disc I'm going to talk about in a second, would be relegated to 2 movies on a cheap dollar DVD that looked horrendous, and maybe they would sort of half-assedly put some kind of extras on it. Film Masters doesn't do that. Film Masters does it right, and they treat these movies with respect. We have new restorations of Boris Karloff in The Terror, and Jack Nicholson, who's also in The Terror, in the original Little Shop of Horrors, Roger Corman's Little Shop of Horrors. So they're both Corman movies to a degree. I think The Terror, was kind of worked on by a whole lot of people. Corman was behind it, but from my recollection, there were multiple directors who had anything to do with that. So we get The Terror starring Boris Karloff with Jack Nicholson and Sandra Knight, new HD restoration from the original 35mm archival elements, and a bonus HD print of the Little Shop of Horrors. So what's in this, you ask? The 2 sides of Roger Corman are represented with The Terror 1963 and Little Shop of Horrors 1960. Corman's gothic spooky side is on display in The Terror, an atmospheric horror tale of a French soldier whose encounter with a ghostly woman. And what's interesting here I just watched Targets again recently. If you've never seen Targets, it is amazing. I just saw it again at the Zoom 24-hour Horathon. And then while in Italy on TV the other night was Targets, and featured in Targets, which takes place partly at a drive-in, is The Terror. So that's interesting. And funny enough, when I was watching Targets in a really nice restoration, I'm like, wow, that copy of The Terror looks great. I can't wait to see how the Film Masters version looks like. No, I can't. So a ghostly woman leads him to a mysterious castle full of dark secrets. The pairing of a youthful Jack Nicholson as a soldier and veteran Boris Karloff as the castle's owner make The Terror a memorable example of Corman's mid-60s goth period. Meanwhile, I never heard of Corman's film referred to as goth films, but I suppose that's accurate. Meanwhile, Corman's more whimsical side is on display in The Little Shop of Horrors. The legendary cult film features a bumbling florist. I thought I was going to say foists. Small print. Small print is your enemy. Florist's assistant who creates, see, I could edit these, but why spare you this joy? Who creates a giant plant that happens to crave human blood. The usual Corman stock company is on hand, including Jonathan Hayes and Dick Miller, plus a cameo by Nicholson as a dental patient with a high threshold for pain. What was funny is, speaking of public domain, in the public domain days, which it still technically is, Little Shop of Horrors, they would always put Jack Nicholson's face on the cover, sometimes making it look like he was a star of the movie. He's in one scene. It's a very memorable scene that Bill Murray would then recreate in the Frank Oz Little Shop of Horrors from 1986, but it's always funny to me in the public domain world where what's the most saleable thing about this? Who's the person who went on to become a huge star, but they put a contemporary picture of them on the cover and people will think it's a new movie. And they'll be really surprised when they find out it's a black and white film from 1960 that star is in for 30 seconds. What's inside? That's what I would ask. It actually says right back here on the back, what's inside. Featuring 2 companion essays, Boris Karloff and The Shadow of Poe, written by C. Courtney Joyner, Faster, Faster, written by Mark McGee. Disc 1. The Terror presented in its original theatrical format. Full-length commentary for The Terror by C. Courtney Joyner and Dr. Steve Haberman. Ghosts of the Machine. Ghosts in the Machine, Art and Artifice, and Roger Corman's Celluloid Castle, visual essay by Howard S. Berger and Kevin Marr. The Flying Machiste Brothers, 2023 recut trailer for the trailer made from restored film elements. The Little Shop of Horrors presented in HD, 16:9 commentary for The Little Shop of Horrors by Justin Humphries, and Little Shop star Jonathan Hayes. Justin Humphries, very nice guy, did a book about, he did the Dr. Phibes Companion, among other things, and he gave us a bunch of copies of that to give away at a screening at the Mahoning Drive-In. So, fan of Justin Humphries. Hollywood Insiders, The Film Group Story Part 2, original Ballyhoo Motion Pictures production. This is really cool. Roger Corman started a company called Film Group. He was doing a lot of work for AIP. He did his own side company called Film Group, where he made his own independent films. A lot of the films that Film Masters is releasing are Film Group productions. And on the disc that I'm about to review very soon, the disc that was Beast from Haunted Cave and Ski Trooper track, there is a very cool documentary about Film Group. So that's part 1. Part 2 is here, serialized for your pleasure. 2023 recut trailer for The Little Shop of Horrors, made from restored film elements. 1963, 80 minutes, that's The Terror. Unrated color, 1:8:5. Aspect ratio, once again, all region, A, B, and C. From Chicago to Cincinnati. That's not very far, that's the same company. From from Duluth to Denmark. From Rochester to Rome. Pop it in your... I hope there aren't many more of these all-region discs, or I'm going to run out of places that I can remember. This will play in your player no matter where in the world you are, and pop it in. So, you crack it open. What do you got? You got your disc with some Little Shop of Horrors artwork. That's the Little Shop of Horrors disc. I also greatly appreciate they put these on separate discs to maintain the highest quality and bit rate, which is not the way these would have been treated in their previous releases. And then you have The Terror. So, a semblance of their original poster art on each. And then, wow, again, this booklet that comes with this. I don't know if you can tell. This is a thick book with a lot of text, a lot of pictures utilizing the original stills and production art. Looking forward to this. The Terror, not a great movie, The Terror, but if you love the Corman Poe AIP films like I do, it's part of that whole cycle. If you love Karloff, it really fits in with all of the movies that Corman was making at the time, as far as the vibe and as far as the shot of that castle and the sky with lightning and so forth. And Little Shop of Horrors is just a fun, if you've never seen it, it's about a plant that eats people and it's funny. No singing in this one. Little Shop of Horrors is really great, and it really is like a good double feature with Bucket of Blood and some of the other Corman dark comedies that he was making at the time. So from Neon Eagle Video, I don't know if I've done anything from Neon Eagle before. We have Kill, Butterfly, Kill. Not to be confused with Butterflies Are Free or Faster Pussycat, Kill, Kill. What do we have here? Years after being assaulted, a young woman, Juliet Chan, seeks bloody revenge on the 5 men responsible. Sold. Do I need to read more? I mean, this is, okay. She is aided by a retired hitman sympathetic to her plight, Tattooer Ma Shah, and the group of like-minded girlfriends. This sounds great. One by one, each of the creeps are caught in a trap and done away with, but her final quarry has a few tricks up his sleeve, leading to a violent climactic confrontation. Kill, Butterfly, Kill, aka Underground Wife, is a prime example of the so-called black movie and exploitation subgenre popular in the early 80s in Taiwan. They're cheaply made, they were stylish and potent action films, often socially conscious films, with often socially conscious aims and 2 feet planted firmly in the gutter. Presented here in a new 4K restoration from the best surviving elements is the export English language cut of the film prepared by the notorious IFD Films. This slightly better cut differs from the original Mandarin language version known as Underground Wife, which is also presented here. Cool. In a 4x3 full screen standard def print. Finally, this set also features the absolutely gonzo 1987 cut of the film American Commando 6 Kill, Butterfly, Kill, which features new scenes starring IFD regulars Mike Abbott and Mark Miller from a 4K scan of the OCN. All of these various versions of a unique film are making their official US home video debut and worldwide Blu-ray premieres. This sounds fantastic. I've never heard of it or seen it, but this is great. I'm a fan of old-time hucksterism and ballyhoo and the carny approach to film exploitation releases, where they would retitle things and remold the ad campaign for different markets to try to make people think it's a different movie with, again, exploiting whatever elements they can that's saleable. So turning this into something called American Commando 6, which I'm guessing there's no American Commando in this except the new stuff they stuck in there. It's just fabulous. So there's a 2-disc Blu-ray set. Disc 1, 4K restoration, 1080p presentation. Please note the best surviving elements were used to compile these restorations. Audio commentary by Kenneth Burson and Paul Fox of the Podcast on Fire Network. Underground Wife cut in standard def. Kill, Butterfly, Kill trailer in HD. That's from 1983, 2.40 aspect ratio, so pretty wide, which means the 4x3 is going to be pretty pan and scan. English 2.0 mono, English SDH subtitles, all region. Disc 2, American Commando 6, Kill, Butterfly 2, Kill, alternate cut, 4K restoration, 1080p presentation, American Commando 6, Kill, Butterfly, Kill trailer in HD, IFD trailer compilation, in SD. That is, okay, so the original version is Kill, Butterfly, Kill is 87 minutes. The American Commando 6 with the added scenes is 90 minutes. It is also the proper aspect ratio. It's in English mono, English HDH subtitles, and it's yet another all-region disc. From Manhattan to Mandarin, from Taiwan to Toledo, this will play in your player. So let's crack this thing open and see what we got inside. Neon Eagle Video. I love companies that are just digging up this stuff like this. When you're in the game, as long as I am, when you're in the exploitation world and just trying to watch as many movies as possible, as many weird movies as possible, and you have like a sweet spot, 70s. For me, the sweet spot is like 60s, 70s into the 80s, and you keep finding out about more movies you've never even heard of. It's an exciting time to be alive. Wow, this is a fantastic looking package. So you get, that's what she said, you get your 2 discs with different artwork there, and then you take them out and you get your alternate American Commando 6 Kill, Butterfly, Kill artwork, which is just fantastic. So I can't wait this is going to take me a long time to get through this. Sometimes you wonder why some of my reviews come out so far after a release date. It's because some of these discs are so loaded, and unless I really don't like a movie, I try to watch everything that's included on the disc so I can talk about it. So I can say, oh, this commentary was good, or I can say, let me adjust my back. I can say the commentary was boring, or the extras were really fascinating, or here's a story you need to hear. So I watch all the extras, but sometimes the extras, they could take like a week, unless that's all you're doing is watching this stuff. So the last package we have here is more goodies. What do we have? We'll start off with the less visually interesting. It is simply a separate set of the Barbarella discs. So we've already covered the Barbarella discs. We have, this is one that I've been waiting for. I was really hoping I would get. This is going to be watched by me probably tonight as I record this. This is the Radiance Films release of Messiah of Evil. I don't know how well that reads. Messiah of Evil is a film that was believed to be public domain by some people. might not have been. I did a horror host show called Saturday Fright Special for about a decade or so, the host of which strangely was inducted into the Horror Host Hall of Fame last year. Funny how things work out. And we ran this on the show and we really liked it. It was a pretty obscure movie at the time. It's since gathered a bit more legitimate releases. First of all, Code Red put it out on DVD, and I don't think they put it out on Blu-ray, but maybe they did, DVD and Blu-ray. And now Radiance has what's going to be obviously the definitive release of this. This is a new restoration premiere. New restoration from a scan of the best. It's black. It's small black print on red. So bear with me here. A new restoration from the 4K scan of the best surviving elements of the film from the Academy Film Archive. Wow, it's really hard for me to read this. A woman travels to a sleepy seaside town to find her father, who has been missing, who has been writing letters telling of doom, spelling doom. Literacy is a wonderful thing. Learn to read, kids. Learn to read out loud. My problem is reading out loud. Spelling doom. Upon arrival, she soon discovers the town so under the influence of a strange cult that weeps tears of blood and hunger for human flesh. New audio commentary by horror experts Kim Newman and Stephen Thrower. Wow. Archival interview with director Willard Hayek and newly produced feature-length documentary. Visual essay on American Gothic by Kat Ellinger, who's great. Booklet with writing by Bill Ackerman, reversible sleeve featuring new artwork by Time Tomorrow. Limited edition of 2,000 copies on this one. This is a film by Willard Hayek and Gloria Katz. If those names at all sound familiar, it's because I think they helped write Raiders of the Lost Ark. They were involved with George Lucas. I think they did, I want to say they did Howard the Duck as well. And they were part of the Lucas camp for a long time. But this is something they did sort of before really being in deep with that. 1973, 90 minutes, color, English language 2.35 widescreen, so it's wide, mono. Yeah, and once again, last time I'm going to do this today. From Waterloo to Williamsport, from Claremont, my old town, to Caligastro. This will play in your player. This is an all-region player. So the cover, as we know, looks like this. Back of it looks like that. Obi strip can be removed. Radiance Films. Once again, heavy case. Inside looks a little something like that. And we have the probably more familiar, if you've seen this on home video, poster art, which is really cool poster art. So that's the reversible cover. You can have it like that, or you can have it like that. And again, pretty sizable book there, with Mariana Hill, I believe, on the cover. And yeah, nice. Cool writing. Can you read it? Cool writing and photos. So that's all I have to discuss for today. If you've sat with me for this half hour of me rambling and reading poorly, thank you very much. Look below for all of the buying links through Amazon. I'm an Amazon associate, which means if you click on any of the links for any of my stuff in any of my reviews and buy through Amazon, it costs you the same amount, and I get a little something out of it, which is nice. It helps me pay for electricity and things like that, clothes. And thank you very much. Until next time, I have another pile of things that will be coming soon.